What if the earth you walk on today is not the same earth your soul signed up for? According to renowned psychic Flora Daniels, 2025 marks a pivotal moment in human evolution. A subtle but unstoppable force is pushing us toward a higher frequency, one where fear, ego, and limitation no longer rule. This isn't about the end of the world, but the beginning of a new one. A vibrational leap, a collective shift. Flora Daniels calls it the birth of the new Earth timeline. In this video, we dive into what's changing, what it means for you, and how to align now. The invisible timeline has already split. Flora first sensed the timeline division as an inner pull, a gentle disconnection from the world's chaos. But this wasn't escapism, it was redirection. People across the globe are now feeling it too. A silent tug from something beyond logic. They feel like they're still here, but not fully in the world anymore. This is not imagination. It's the effect of frequency detachment. You might find yourself resonating with peace, while others stay addicted to fear. This split is energetic, not physical. It doesn't announce itself with explosions, but through subtle emotional disconnects, loss of interest in drama, and sudden inner clarity. You are not broken. You're realigning. Many ask, what does this split actually do? It separates perception. Two people standing in the same room might be experiencing completely different realities now. One might be consumed by anxiety, the other calm and centered. This is how reality begins to bifurcate before it physically manifests. If you felt like the world around you is growing more foreign, that's not dysfunction. That's discernment. Your soul is choosing a lighter vibrational layer. People who aren't ready won't see this shift. They'll label it coincidence, depression, or apathy. But it's actually elevation, a prelude to dimensional transition. The true separation isn't about escaping others. It's about outgrowing what no longer fits your soul's frequency. The old earth is still looping its karmic programs. But those anchoring into the new frequency are being prepared for something unimaginable. What once took lifetimes to heal is dissolving in days. This timeline split isn't just happening to you, it's happening for you. It's not the end of connection, but the beginning of higher resonance. Your awareness is your passport now. As you raise your frequency, you step deeper into the version of Earth that your soul was always destined for. Consciousness is now a migration field. Imagine your consciousness like a flock of birds mid-migration. It instinctively knows where to go, even if your mind doesn't. This is what many are experiencing now. An internal call to move, shift, release, and transcend. This isn't about changing cities, it's about moving dimensions. Many people report restlessness. They feel like they're done with certain emotions, people, or goals. It feels sudden, but it's not random. It's a neurological and energetic preparation for new territory. What's collapsing is not your life. It's the energetic scaffolding of the old frequency. Consciousness is fluid. It doesn't obey our clocks or calendars. It listens to celestial pulses and cosmic tides. If you've been pulled into solitude, deep silence, or strange epiphanies lately, it's migration in motion. Something higher is guiding you, even if you don't fully understand the map yet. Old habits feel heavy now. Even joy from the past feels out of tune. That's because your consciousness is preparing for subtler, more refined experiences. You no longer resonate with density. You're seeking expansion, and that's a sign you're already on the new migratory route. This migration isn't about speed. It's about alignment. Some are moving fast, others slow, but all are being guided by unseen currents. Those who resist will feel pressure. But those who surrender will begin to soar, no longer fighting wind but gliding with it. Your job isn't to figure it all out. It's to listen to the pull, trust the silence, and stop forcing what no longer flows. You are not stuck. You are in spiritual transit. Human DNA is receiving geometric signals. Flora often describes 2025 as the year of light-coded geometry. These aren't visible to the human eye, but they are shaping your biology at the deepest level. Your DNA is not a static script, it's a responsive receiver. And right now, it's tuning into signals from beyond the known spectrum. You may notice strange physical sensations: tingling in the crown, bursts of warmth in your spine, pressure in your chest. These are not random, they are light-coded adjustments. Geometries of energy are embedding into your field, unlocking dormant strands of information. Sacred geometry isn't just a symbol on a wall, it's the architecture of creation. These codes communicate with your DNA through vibration. It's why certain sounds, shapes, or sacred languages suddenly stir you emotionally. They're bypassing logic and speaking directly to your original blueprint. When you feel emotional for no reason, or deeply nostalgic for something you can't remember, it could be your DNA responding to these incoming geometries. They carry memories, upgrades, and healing data that your conscious mind hasn't yet unpacked. But your cells remember. This isn't science fiction. It's cellular ascension. Our ancestors once lived close to these frequencies. Temples, pyramids, and crop circles weren't just decorations. They were transmission hubs. In 2025, the Earth's own crystalline grid is reactivating them. You are part of that ignition. The more you align with natural light, sacred stillness, and authentic emotion, the more receptive your DNA becomes. These signals aren't forcing evolution, they're inviting it. You don't need to decode them. Just become quiet enough to receive them. The old emotional grid is shutting down. For decades, lifetimes even, humanity has functioned on an outdated emotional grid built on survival, fear, guilt, and control. This grid isn't just psychological, it's energetic. It was encoded in mass consciousness to keep people reactive, fragmented, and easily influenced. But in 2025, this grid is crumbling. And if you felt emotionally strange lately, you're already witnessing its collapse. The emotional triggers that once consumed you are losing their grip. Situations that used to set off panic, jealousy, or shame may now leave you feeling nothing. Not apathy, but neutrality. This isn't a loss of emotion. It's the liberation of emotion. Your emotional body is detaching from an artificial power circuit. During this transition, you might feel disoriented. That's because your internal GPS is being reprogrammed. Old emotions don't hold the same data anymore. Your heart is adjusting to operate from presence, not programming. From coherence, not chaos. And that adjustment requires rest, patience, and immense gentleness with yourself. Flora explained that this emotional grid operated like a viral code, spreading from generation to generation, embedded in institutions and relationships. It kept people loyal to their pain stories. But in the new Earth frequency, those stories evaporate when you stop feeding them. You're not emotionally numb. You're unhooking from ancient illusions. Even love is changing. The kind of love that was dependent, sacrificial, or filled with fear of loss is being rewritten. True love in this frequency is spacious, non-attached, yet profoundly connected. As the old grid dissolves, the heart begins to remember its original language: empathy without suffering, connection without control. You may cry without reason or laugh at odd moments. This is emotional detox. Your body is flushing outdated patterns. Allow it. Trust it. The shutting down of the old emotional grid is not the end of feeling. It's the beginning of true emotional sovereignty. Thoughts are becoming dimensional transporters. In the past, thoughts were perceived as fleeting, random, even meaningless. But that perception is now outdated. In the higher frequencies of 2025 and beyond, thoughts are no longer private, linear, or static. They are becoming vehicles. Each thought carries a frequency. Each frequency aligns with a dimensional layer. You're no longer thinking in place. You're thinking yourself into realities. This is why manifesting is speeding up. A single thought, especially one fueled by emotion, can now instantly shift your vibration, mood, and even environment. You might wake up feeling peaceful, then a fearful thought drags you into a lower dimension. Not physically, but perceptually. It's immediate, and it's real. Flora has warned that this is both a gift and a responsibility. The mental plane is no longer passive. It is a projector. You're not merely watching reality. You're selecting it. That's why mental hygiene is becoming as essential as physical nutrition. What you think is what you tune to. Thoughts aren't random sparks anymore. They are keys. Each thought unlocks a field. And the more conscious you become of your thought patterns, the more deliberate you become in where you dwell. Thought is travel now, teleportation of awareness. The mind has become a compass, not just a chatterbox. This isn't just spiritual theory, it's energetic law. Those who dwell on betrayal attract people still looping betrayal codes. Those who cultivate inner harmony begin to experience moments of grace that seem magical. But they're not magic. They are precision. Thought frequency is the new portal. This is why stillness is so powerful now. A quiet mind can bypass chaos entirely, not through avoidance, but through frequency bypass. If you want to rise, think less and feel deeper. Thoughts will follow your emotional field. When the heart leads, thought becomes a servant of light. The soul contract system is being rewritten. Every soul enters this realm with agreements, contracts made in the spiritual dimensions before birth. These aren't punishments or obligations. They're chosen growth pathways. But here's the revelation of 2025. Many of these soul contracts are now being rewritten or dissolved altogether. Why? Because the game board itself is changing. In previous Earth timelines, karma was thick. Lessons were slow. Souls would reincarnate repeatedly to master a single emotional frequency. But now, accelerated energy allows for instantaneous integration. What took lifetimes can now complete in a single moment of awareness. That changes everything. Flora described this shift as the dissolution of obsolete contracts. You might feel it as sudden disinterest in lifelong relationships, careers, or even spiritual missions. This isn't irresponsibility. It's divine graduation. When the curriculum is learned, the contract closes, sometimes without warning. Sometimes with tears, but always with freedom. Have you ever felt like you're being released from something without knowing why? That sensation is real. The soul no longer needs to loop the same pain story. It's choosing new experiences, new joy codes. Many are moving into soul-authored lives now, where contracts are fluid and co-created in the moment. This doesn't mean there's no structure. It means the structure is quantum. You can still have purpose, but that purpose evolves as you evolve. You're no longer bound to a path. You're in communion with a path that breathes with you, adapts to you, and responds to your deepest readiness. This is spiritual maturity. It's moving from fate to co-creation, from contract to collaboration, from karma to clarity. If you feel called to change everything, listen. Your soul is not breaking promises. It's rewriting its journey in real time. Ego will lose its authority in 2025. The ego has been a loud ruler for centuries, a voice that pretended to protect us while quietly feeding off our fear. But in 2025, something extraordinary is happening. The authority of the ego is weakening. It's not being destroyed, but rather exposed. People are beginning to see through its games. The illusion of separateness, superiority, and control no longer resonates with the heart's intelligence. This shift is not about ego death. It's about ego integration. And once integrated, it can no longer dominate. Flora said the ego is like a former king now being asked to retire gracefully. It's uncomfortable. It resists. It tries to stir chaos in its final hours. That's why many people are experiencing emotional spikes, internal conflicts, and identity confusion. But this turbulence is temporary. It's the sound of a control system losing relevance. As the soul reclaims its seat, the ego becomes what it was always meant to be, a tool, not a tyrant. You may notice that arguments feel more exhausting than ever. Defending your opinion might feel hollow. This is ego fatigue. When the soul leads, there's no need to prove. There's no obsession with being right, only the desire to understand and evolve. You begin to feel the difference between reaction and response. One drains you, the other expands you. This distinction is the beginning of ego transcendence. As ego loses its grip, compassion rises. You see others not as threats but as mirrors. You stop chasing validation and start embodying truth. In this state, life flows, not perfectly, but authentically. Your worth isn't tied to performance anymore. It's anchored in presence. The ego isn't your enemy. It's your outdated map. And in 2025, we're finally being handed a compass. Dream states now hold hidden keys. In the coming age, your dreams are no longer just the playground of the subconscious. They are spiritual classrooms, timelines, and messages from the higher self. Many have begun to notice that their dreams are becoming more vivid, layered, and emotional. They wake up with strange feelings that linger. That's because the veil is thin now, and the dream state is becoming a portal between dimensions. The wisdom you receive there can impact your waking reality more than you realize. Flora emphasized that the dream world is where many soul upgrades happen. During sleep, your ego quiets down and your soul takes the wheel. You may meet beings you don't consciously remember, receive symbols that bypass your intellect, or find yourself in places that feel more real than Earth. This is not fantasy. It's initiation. The soul uses dreams to communicate with your waking mind in the only language it truly understands: imagery and emotion. Start paying attention to recurring symbols. Do certain animals, places, or people keep showing up? These aren't just psychological patterns. They are energetic markers. They are codes, guiding you toward healing, insight, and integration. Keep a journal by your bed. Even if you don't understand the dream right away, record it. Sometimes the meaning becomes clear weeks or months later, especially as events in the physical world begin to align. Dreams are no longer passive illusions. They are co-created experiences. As you evolve spiritually, you gain more awareness within them. Some call this lucid dreaming, but in truth, it's soul participation. Your higher self is preparing you in advance, offering clues, realignments, and energetic assistance. Don't dismiss your dreams as random. In 2025, they might be the most accurate GPS your soul has. Your aura is being quantumized daily. There's a subtle transformation occurring that most can't see, but many are feeling. The human aura, once considered a soft glow of light around the body, is now becoming a quantum field, dynamic, responsive, and filled with sacred geometry. Every choice, thought, and emotion sends ripples through it. In 2025, your aura isn't just a shield, it's a broadcast tower, connecting you to realms and intelligences far beyond ordinary sight. Flora noted that the aura is becoming more crystalline in structure, enabling it to reflect and refract cosmic energies more efficiently. That's why many feel drained in crowds or suddenly sensitive to noise, light, or emotions. It's not weakness, it's energetic refinement. Your field is adjusting to a higher bandwidth. Old emotional patterns and dense energies are being pushed out, often through spontaneous detox, fatigue, or waves of emotional release. This shift requires more than just meditation. It calls for presence. The more present you are, the more stable your aura becomes. You might be guided to spend more time in nature, reduce screen exposure, or eat differently. These aren't trends, they're frequency alignments. Your aura is not separate from your choices. Everything you do is part of your field's calibration, and it responds to resonance, not routine. The more coherent your aura, the clearer your path becomes. You start attracting situations that mirror your inner frequency. Coincidences become constant, healing accelerates, relationships evolve or dissolve effortlessly. You're not trying to control reality. You're becoming magnetic to the version of reality that matches your light. That's quantum aura in action. It's not mystical, it's mechanical, and it's happening now. Time is no longer chronological, it's spherical. Time has always been one of humanity's greatest teachers and greatest illusions. For centuries, we've lived under the belief that time is linear, marching from past to future. But in 2025, that structure is unraveling. More people are sensing it. Moments stretch, hours disappear, entire weeks feel like dreams. That's because time is shifting into a spherical pattern, looping, bending, and responding to consciousness. This isn't a metaphor. It's a vibrational fact. Flora explained that as your frequency rises, your relationship with time evolves. When you're in alignment, time expands. When you're in resistance, time compresses. It's no longer about minutes and hours. It's about emotional gravity. The heavier the energy, the slower the moment feels. The lighter the heart, the faster you move across timelines. This is why presence is the new mastery. When you're present, you're outside the trap of future worry or past regret. You access what ancient mystics called the eternal now, the space where everything is available. Healing, guidance, and even quantum shifts happen there. It's not about rushing. It's about rooting in timeless awareness. You may find that you remember future events or feel intense déjà vu. These aren't glitches. They're signs that you're beginning to experience time as the soul does, non-linear, multi-layered, and responsive to love. You're not just moving through time anymore. Time is beginning to move through you. Energy beings are rebuilding the subtle body. Across sacred traditions and mystical experiences, there are references to unseen helpers, beings of light, cosmic architects, divine engineers. In 2025, their presence is no longer hidden. Many sensitive souls are beginning to feel, hear, or even glimpse these energy beings as they work directly on the human energetic structure. This is not fantasy. It's spiritual physiology. The subtle body, long ignored by mainstream thought, is now being rebuilt by advanced intelligences aligned with Earth's ascension. These beings don't operate like humans. They don't speak in words or move in time. They work through frequency alignment. They respond when a soul reaches a certain vibration of readiness, usually through surrender, intention, or trauma-triggered awakenings. Flora mentioned that these beings are currently focused on repairing energy leaks, reweaving damaged meridians, and fortifying the auric grid. Their presence might be sensed as tingling in the spine, warmth in the heart, or sudden clarity after deep rest. Some may dismiss this as imagination, but the evidence is experiential. People undergoing energetic reconstruction often feel like their body is being recoded during sleep. They awaken knowing things they've never learned. They heal from emotional wounds with no clear explanation. They shed addictions, fears, and identities with grace. These are signs that something more intelligent than the human mind is intervening, with permission from the soul. You're not broken, you're being rebuilt. The pain, the fatigue, the spiritual isolation, it's all part of a sacred process. The subtle body is the bridge between spirit and matter. And right now, it's being fortified to carry more light than ever before. Trust the process. These energy beings are not here to save you. They're here to awaken the blueprint within you. Earth's magnetic song is recalling starseeds. Have you felt a mysterious pull lately, as if something deep within the earth is calling you back to a purpose you haven't yet remembered? This is not imagination. It's resonance. Earth's magnetic field is not static. It pulses with frequencies. And in 2025, that pulse is changing. It's becoming melodic, intelligent, almost like a song. And that song is calling the starseeds, souls that originated beyond this planet, but incarnated here for a mission. Flora spoke about how this song isn't audible to the ears. It's felt in the bones, in the blood, in the sudden knowing that you're here for something greater. Many starseeds feel misplaced, overly empathic, or burdened by a world they don't fully understand. But now they're being awakened by Earth's shifting frequency. It's like a homing signal that bypasses logic and strikes the heart. A vibration that says, it's time. The magnetic song is encoded with geometric light pulses that interact directly with the soul's memory. You may find yourself drawn to ancient sites, star systems, or sacred geometry without knowing why. These are memory activations, not memories of this lifetime, but soul memories from other realms, other timelines, other missions. The Earth is not just healing herself, she is assembling her spiritual army. Reality layers are merging from the edges. What once seemed like one single solid world is now revealing itself as a layered, fluid, multidimensional spectrum. In 2025, the walls between dimensions are thinning, not from the center, but from the edges. That's where reality begins to shimmer, glitch, or soften. This merging of layers is why people are seeing more synchronicities, having strange encounters, or experiencing time loops. It's not madness, it's exposure to parallel frequencies. Flora described it like watching several movies on transparent film, all playing at once. As you raise your frequency, you begin to tune in to more of these channels. You sense thoughts before they're spoken. You walk into a room and feel what happened there yesterday. You remember moments that haven't happened yet. These are all signs of dimensional overlap. The veils are not being torn, they are being harmonized. Language will soon become obsolete communication. Words have long been our primary tool for connection. But in 2025, they are beginning to feel heavy, slow, inadequate. That's because language, though useful, is a compressed form of thought. It separates, defines, and reduces energy into linear expression. But the new human is awakening to a different kind of communication, telepathic resonance, a direct exchange of vibration, meaning, and intent that bypasses words entirely. Flora shared that in higher realms, beings do not speak, they transmit. One moment of soul-to-soul resonance can convey what would take pages to explain in words. This is not just a future possibility. It's beginning now. Empaths and intuitives are already picking up thoughts, emotions, and intentions before anything is said. Conversations feel tiring because the true communication is happening underneath the words.